It's these motherfuckers right here. It's the motherfuckers on the top. But now we gotta do this shit again.
So all I have to say is
You gotta do this shit again. And nobody tell me, there's nobody here tell me why I get emotional. Why you talk like this about motherfucking
that's fine. You can do that.
You don't know what I motherfucking feel. I want my ass off of this motherfucking
Exactly.
I've been here 30-something motherfucking years.
Yeah, I agree with you.
30-something fucking years. You tell me I ain't got no motherfucking pension.
Yeah, I agree.
And nobody tell me to calm my ass down. Fuck everybody tell me to calm down. God damn it. This is my motherfucking money y'all playing with.
You're right, Dwayne.
Fuck that shit.
So this is what I'll say.
You gonna tell me how the motherfucking feels. Fuck that shit, man.
So this is what I'll
Fuck
say.
this shit.
Anytime the government,
Analyze that
anytime
shit.
the government bails out a corporation or gives
Yeah.
But at the same time, we old guys want our pension.
Yeah.
We want our pension. I'm sorry, we want our pension. We deserve it, bro. You may can't see it right now, but live as long as I live. Then you come back and tell me you won't want your pension after they promised to you. See, when I'm gone, you still gonna be working. But guess what I gotta do? I gotta live on whatever I got. But I pay my dues to get what they promised me. It's a promise. And you got big corporations, they tell you they're gonna do something, and at the end, they take it away from you. That shit hurt, man. I gotta live. God may give me another 20, 30 years. I don't know. I work hard for that pension. I want it. And health insurance is important to everybody, even you, because you don't know what may happen tomorrow.
No.
So that's all we want. But the change of operation, I have nothing against that. It's good. But you got to make it fair. These guys, a lot of people can lose their job on this, huh?
Shalom. I would like to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I would like to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you sincere Akim, pushing this word out across the four corners of the world. Just a quick lesson, and as you may know, that's going on throughout the news right now with this trucking giant by the name of Yellow Corp, which is one of America's largest transporters of goods. So now they have closed down their operations and filing for bankruptcy. And as you may know, that's affecting a lot of America's working class people. And you saw at the beginning of this video a Jake by the name of Dwayne Stevens finding out about the news with Yellow Corp filing for bankruptcy and how the employees of Yellow Corp would not be given their pensions. So Jake was very heated throughout that video and just going on a rant how he been there for 30 years by putting all his blood, sweat, and tears within his trucking company. And these are the consequences for our people, you biblical Israelites, that put your hard-earned spiritual and emotional investment into this American system, which is spiritually codified as Egypt within the Holy Bible. And that's why it's stated within Isaiah 30:1, woe to the rebellious children that take counsel, meaning by putting your trust, your confidence into the God of this world, Esau Edom. You have a deep investment into the fashion of this world. You're chasing after this American dream, which is nothing but an illusion. And as George Carlin stated, they call it the American dream because you have to be asleep in order to believe it. So with that being said, you take the counsel of this world, but not of Yahweh Bashim Abushai, which is your true power source as the biblical Israelites. And going back to this Jake at the beginning of the video, Dwayne Stevens, if he would have known some of the prophecies of this American downfall, and one of those many biblical prophecies is the engineered financial collapse within the society, then therefore he wouldn't be so much infuriated and caught off guard as he was. So the point I'm making through the spirit, these are the consequences for our people placing their strength in Pharaoh and your trust in the shadow of Egypt, and those results are going to be your shame and your confusion. And he was definitely in a confused state along with his fellow co-workers. And that same vibration, for example, what Yellow Corp did to their employees, is going to be a prelude or a domino effect across the board throughout the different cities and states of America. And that takes me to Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt. And that burden is a great source of anxiety, pressure, stress. So that's placing a heavy load or burden upon the shoulders of these everyday American working people. So the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. So Yahweh Bashim Abishai is breaking that spirit of that American morale, that American dream spirit. And that takes me to Ecclesiastes 12:3, In the day when the keepers of the house should tremble, and the keepers of the house are referencing to these different people within the financial services industry, these different economists, these stock market watchers that be on Wall Street. So they should tremble, and the strong man, referencing to the nobility of Esau Edom, shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And those grinders represent these everyday American working people. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. And you saw a good example of that at the beginning of this video. Just the spirit of perplexity, uncertainty in that room. You have a lot of these different American people that have high aspirations, goals, and dreams to build more into this society. However, on every aspect, this system is failing, which is a part of the orchestrated plan of the left-hand elites. Verse 4, and the doors should be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, which goes into the workforce of America on a great decline. And I came across an article earlier concerning this prophecy right here, and it was going into how more teachers of color are quitting their jobs due to the pandemic burnout, low pay, the intrusion of politics into the classrooms, and also stress, which again, the burden of Egypt. And those women of color that article was referring to are Israelites, which are the biggest consumers within this American society. And that takes me to Isaiah 19 verse 14, the Lord Yahweh had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, which goes into that heavy spirit of immorality that's going on within this place. Like doing wickedness and being wicked is heavily rewarded within the society. So that's a perverse spirit. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. And here's the point in verse 15. Neither should there be any work for Egypt which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. And Lord willing, through the Spirit, we're going to continue to see more of these American companies making headlines about shutting down or filing for bankruptcy. Tens of thousands of employees without employment. And what type of imprint is that leaving upon these everyday American working people? The spirit of uncertainty, being very stressful, being very angry, like the Jake at the beginning of this video, and just deep sorrow. And that takes me to 2 Ezra 15 verse 12. Egypt, referencing to America, shall mourn, which goes into a deep expression of sorrow and grief. That's why it's stated within Ezekiel, the 2nd chapter, how there was a roll of a book, and within and without that book, and there was written therein lamentations, mourning, and woe, which are the total opposites of prosperity that these false prophets be lying to our people about, especially within this day of time, where things are about to get very serious on a very high level. So Egypt shall mourn, and going back to the video at the beginning, I'm pretty quite sure that those workers have a lot of financial responsibilities. Of course, family, mortgage or rent, cost of living expenses, etc. So just imagine going across the board how these different American companies coming at their employees like this, telling them that they have lost everything that they work for. And that's exactly why Gerald Celente stated, when people have nothing left to lose and they have lost everything, they lose it. And according to Matthew the 24th chapter, the love of many is definitely going to be waxed cold. So Egypt should mourn, and the foundation of it should be smitten with a plague, which goes into those divine afflictions, calamities, and torments Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shah is going to bring upon this place. And punishment that Yahweh Ba'ashim Al-Shah shall bring upon it. So this American society is failing on all levels. And it's very significant for us as the hopeful elect to continue to spiritually detach and spiritually flee from the shadow of this world. So hopefully with that, you all is edified, you all stay strong, keep pushing forward. Shalom.
Hundreds of dock workers and truck drivers in the St. Louis region are hitting the unemployment line after Yellow Freight shut down its operations. Our political editor Mark Maxwell talked to several Teamsters as they paid final tribute to the place where they made a living.
Abrupt fall of the nation's third largest freight company over the weekend turned this bustling dockyard into a quiet ghost yard. Empty trailers and locked gates bar the entrance to a quiet dockyard at Yellow Freight. For more than 4 decades, this was as close to home as it gets. Where's home?
About 2 blocks from here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Earl Muffett would walk to work where he'd meet his second family. What are you going to miss most?
The guys.
After all, they did more than punch a clock. They invested their time, labor, even their own money to keep the company afloat.
And that equates about $100,000 per man that we gave back, and the company still couldn't make it. And it's just very frustrating that the higher-ups, the CEOs and all of this, they just took the money and nobody knows where it went.
Teamsters watched the stock price bottom out under 50 cents a share 4 days ago, then jump six-fold as a hedge fund swooped in to buy up nearly a majority share of what's left of the company.
Something needs to be done as far as investigation. The money trail should be somewhere, and we should be privy of it.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Bobby Bailey worked in the yard, earned his CDL, and drove a truck here for 6 years.
And to take 22,000 jobs and just throw that out, I mean, guys got mortgages, car payments, multiple car payments, and kids are not cheap these days.
He's a dad, worried what he'll tell his 2 daughters at home. I can tell you're, feeling some things.
Yeah, it sucks. I've applied at other places.
As he looks for a new job, he wants Congress to do theirs.
Investigate, investigate.
While they'll leave some gear behind, they'll take the memories with them.
We love this place. We were a family. We all know each other. We're a family. We're Teamsters. It's a big family, and I've never had that at any place I've ever worked before.
A band of brothers sticking together through hardships in and out of the workplace.
I left a beer can up there for one last beer, and this is one of our buddies who has been diagnosed with ALS, and he's number 1 on the board down here and can't make it down. So, Mike, this is for you, buddy.
1 week ago, they thought they were going to hit the picket line. Now many are hitting the unemployment line, even as they wait for that official notice that they've actually been terminated. One worker whose future is uncertain said to me that they're watching these money moves on Wall Street as a hedge fund sweeps in to scavenge what's left of the company. The way he put it to me, Yellow is worth more dead than alive.